I'm going to call the order to the July 14th Planning Commission meeting. This meeting is live streamed by Underproduction Multimedia. So if you would, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we'll do roll call. Ronald Blevins is present. Wayne Bergen here. Marnie Clark is absent. Harold Goodlett here. Brian Hester here. Daisy Lucio here. John Palmer here. Okay, let the record show that we do have a quorum. We have everybody had a chance to review the agenda?
Yes.
Okay, make a motion to approve.
I make a motion.
Motion made by Harold. Okay, second by John. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion approved. In standing business, approval of prior meeting minutes. Need a motion to approve those. Okay, a motion made by Daisy.
Second.
Second by John. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, it is approved. Any public comments? Okay, public comments. Looks like there's no old business. Moving on to new business. Zoning map change request on Bolly Drive.
CCO representative here? Oh.
My name is Walter Coppinger. I'm a member of CCR MACA. I'm also the real estate broker here in Clark County. And I'm here on behalf of the LLC to request a zoning change on the property there at Foley Drive. There's currently 6 lots that are, that I think all of you have copies of the original plat. What the HUD that we've proposed to put in there would allow us to put 5 duplex type homes on those lots, and then one of the lots does not lay out very well for a duplex because of the site setbacks and the depth of the lot, and so that lot was proposed to do just a typical regular home on it. It will be designed as similar to the other ones. If you've had a chance to look at the pictures of the proposed plans, these plans are the same plans that we proposed that have been built by Steve Klein in 3 of his other subdivisions. Steve provided us the plans that we're utilizing for that. And so what we designed was for 5 of those homes to be that style of housing. In this market, especially in that neighborhood, it looks like because of the road that goes out there, a lot of homes that, and a lot of the owners and buyers of these style homes typically are people that are older, that don't have a lot of children that are going to be driving, and so what we felt was that would cut down on the number of cars in and out. Also requirements for lots of parking on the streets where kids park and things like that. So what we were looking for was to try and design something that would fit in with that location. Being a cul-de-sac, it was a kind of a natural fit in there, and so that's what our plan was, and that's why we laid it out the way we did. So if there's questions, I'd be happy to try and address them. But it was pretty straightforward.
Are these gonna be rental properties, or they gonna be owned?
These will be owner occupied. Each home will be actually separate. Concept for the PUD obviously would be that the owners would own the homes themselves. They would own their own half, and there would be a deeded lot as such. And so there will be actually 11 deeds that would be prepared for that in eventuality. The HOA would be designed to take care of any of the common areas that there would be in the backs and things like that, because there are easements on the backs of those lots for utility access.
So there'll be an HOA out here?
Yes, it will be.
Is there an HOA out there now?
No, not that I'm aware of,
So there's be an HOA on just this street?
just for the PUD.
There's more than 5 lots or 6 lots
Not that we,
on the street,
there's 2 other lots that are owned by the people that live on the corners.
Is that gonna be under the HOA?
No.
I have one thing, I wonder if Tony could explain, we're looking at PUD, right? Could you explain to myself and maybe the audience what we're looking at? I'm sure everybody probably knows, but I'm,
Yeah, the difference between, let's say it was an MS4, or no, sorry, get that in my brain. If it's a R4, then that's multi-family units, but it's restricted for what exactly you can put in an R4. A planned unit development, what it does is it's mostly designed for something like you see over Charlestown Lane, we have commercial in the front, different stuff in the back, different size housing. The planned unit development also allows for the allowance of smaller lots, different types of things, like you could do like a duplex on one and a single house in the same zone. Whereas now, if you're in the R4, you can't put a single house in an R4 zone. So that's why they would need the PUD, is to make it so they can have multiple types of housing in there.
I had a couple other things I wanted to ask. Drainage looks really bad out there. Due to the incline, you agree?
We see where the people that that actually developed that, put the street in and addressed some of the drainage issues, because they had created a culvert underneath the road to address the drainage from the right side. As you're going down, there's actually a drainage there. What we propose to do is we'll continue to address that with appropriate riprap, and if we have to extend the drainage along that backside on that side, we plan to do that.
I see you've already got riprap on lot 222.
Yes.
I figure that's due to the drainage, stormwater.
Yeah.
And so when all this, and the actually, there's only one catch basin there at the cul-de-sac,
At the end, yes.
and it's on the left-hand side. It's above the cul-de-sac. So in other words, lot 220, which is the center lot, I don't know, it might not be one of yours, because there's no
That's not
building.
one of ours.
But it's gonna take all the water coming down through there before it ever gets to this catch basin. It's gonna have to fill up there, so it's gonna flood that. Is that when the infrastructure was done, was that considered, or?
That was prior to our
Yeah,
ownership, so.
that was, it's kind of, over the years, it's kind of just been like multiple people gone in there and done some work. That would have been Christianity's there, it was like something that they were starting, but then they stopped.
Have you looked at the situation out there? Like I said, we have a city lift station,
Right.
which is gonna also be flooded in there, which probably doesn't matter, but 220, which is the center lot at the end of the cul-de-sac, it's gonna really flood bad there.
Yeah, what would have to happen is that, like we talked before, is before they could actually go in there and do any work, the development would have to get reviewed as stormwater drain review. And it would have to fit with our stormwater plans. So it would, it'd have to be engineered and all that. So they would have to they'd have to make the application for an MS4 permit.
And that would have to be done before any permit is issued.
Yep.
I see you've got if you're going down the street, the left-hand side is terraced somewhat. But the right-hand side there's no terrace coming down through it.
there will have to be some terracing down there, a little more than what they had done. They had laid out 5 lots that they were gonna, the previous development, when Christiani was in there, they went ahead and built the pads for the 5 buildable lots with the intention of putting just a house down there at the end, on 220, and putting the house just down ground level there. We don't feel that that's gonna be adequate to address the drainage issues there, because of the elevations. And so what will have to happen is that we'll have to regrade that right side, to make sure that we get the drainage that we need there to come across, because again, obviously, since we're gonna be the builders, we don't want an issue to come back on that.
Like I said, in Saddleback Estates Unit 1, which is on the map here, where's their access to those lots?
Access to the lots.
On the map here, there's lots over here, not in this development, but where do they come in at?
So on the right-hand side,
If you're going down the street on the right-hand side,
on the right, those are all individual lots
is that backed up from Delta or?
in the back.
It says Saddleback Estates Unit 1.
Yeah. Everything on the right-hand side, most of that is in the county. That's probably why it's not really showing.
I didn't know if there was gonna be landlocked, a little, I guess when I show those, this development is not gonna landlock that.
I see what you're saying now.
Oh, yeah.
We'll do that.
No, this should not impact any of the existing lots, the way they're laid out, the homes that are already existing. None of this impacts any of that.
It does. Exactly. My biggest concern was, I think the flooding is really gonna be bad.
Yeah, I think Christianity did most of that infrastructure. It was all based on single-family homes, and there was some stuff they were going to do, and then they stopped.
When you look at the layouts on the roof and impervious surfaces, when you look at this style design home, if you look at the pictures of the ones that Steve built over in Mill Run, the pictures that are included in your
I
packet.
saw the pictures and I think, believe it or not, I think each house is gonna throw water on the house below it, from the gutters and the driveways. I think we're gonna get a lot of water.
That's one of
It's
the
a pretty
things-
steep incline coming
Yeah,
out.
and we understand that, and so that's one of the reasons that we know that we have to do some additional grading on there to be able to handle the roof runoff through the guttering systems, because again, we don't want water to run from one neighbor to the next neighbor to the next neighbor down. So yes, we took all that into consideration when we were looking at, because what we looked at is the impervious surfaces that are gonna be your roofs and your concrete. When you look at these, there's almost no difference than if we built larger homes on each one of these lots, which we could build, 6 homes on there, and as far as impervious surfaces go, it would not preclude any larger quantities of water being moved off of those. So if we built just R1, which is what they're already designated, your water concerns could be as great as they're gonna be on these.
I would think there'd be more roof covering with a duplex that we're looking at than a single,
Well, these are gonna be
Square footage.
1,500 square feet.
the square
But-
footage.
That's 3,000 square foot, so when you get into looking at a nice sized home on those lots, we're gonna be 25 to 3,000 square foot on those as well. So the homes on those kinds of lots would be almost similar to that, and there would be probably more concrete, so you've got a harder, more impervious surface that's gonna drain back to the road. So I think because of the setbacks that we propose on these, you're not gonna have as much.
I kind of thought with the double concrete driveways for each unit, if there was one house there, we don't have one double driveway, concrete. I think you have a lot more stormwater runoff here than you're gonna have in a normal house.
Well, we're looking
That's
at
just my
probably, if we build single-family homes there, we'd probably be looking more at 3-car garages for that style home, because of the price points that we would have to go to, that we want to build. So we'd probably be looking at larger homes with 3-car garage type situations.
Being a new MS4, the when we would look at the stormwater plans, before they used to like do them in situation, now we look at the whole subdivision. So that might cause a lot of constraint out there for what you're doing, because we have to look at everything,
Right.
how it's gonna tie it in, so that need to take into consideration what John's talking about, how it's.
Like, I've been on some subdivisions, we've got trouble with the same thing with flooding, and, I'd rather catch it now than when we're down
Yes,
the road.
yes.
And actually got a person complaining to the city, why'd you allow this to happen?
Yeah, I've been involved in other developments, and that's always one of the issues that we have to deal with is, you know, what we're looking at for water runoff, and we've had this reviewed with a couple different people, looking at the elevations of the actual homes and how they would relate to the road structure because of the fall that goes down. That was one of the reasons why we know that we want to address the elevations on those pads, because we're not sure that those pads really are going to be at a good elevation for that purpose, so.
The other thing was the HOA, in other words, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lots you'd be building on, right? So like 220, say somebody builds there, but they're not gonna be in the HOA, right?
No, everyone there would be part of the PUD, because there
Would?
that'd be a planned unit development, so everyone would have to be involved in that.
I didn't know if we were, so in other words, if we go, or whatever it is, that's approved for the whole street, right?
For all that side of Bowling, not the other side.
And the 2 lots that actually, that could be, that we don't own, those would not be part of the PUD, so they would not be impacted by the HOA restrictions or anything that would be, for what we would have.
Well, like, more in the common area, stuff like that is in the HOA, I was saying that somebody, HOA is gonna provide services for that. I was trying to figure the 2 homes that not in there.
Yeah, there's 3 lots that wouldn't be in there.
Right. But they will, but the grass is right next to those lots,
Right.
so.
So are they gonna be expected to pay into the HOA to have that common area maintained?
I mean, I just want to make sure that some, the homeowner, whoever, if they're not here, I don't know whether they're down here, wouldn't be in this deal too.
I've got a question. What guarantees are in place that the new development doesn't negatively impact the current homeowners in that area?
What kind of impact? The biggest thing you're gonna see is that the land values for all the other existing homes in there will go up. If you go back and review the sales for the last 3 years of homes in there, the appreciation values has lagged what we saw in Clark County. The valuations from when they were purchased to where they are currently, that section there is not kept up quite as well as some of the other sections of Clark County has done. By adding new construction there, we're obviously gonna be in at a higher price than what the other homes that have sold in there at. So that's why we feel like we're actually going to increase everyone else's values by building these homes in there.
I know we held we had an adjoining property owner meeting several weeks back. And there was some residents here that, had some concerns. And so have you made any changes to address those concerns? Or is this the same as is?
This is the plan that we had, that was looked at. I don't know, that I wasn't able to attend that meeting, so I don't know firsthand what,
Yeah, this is what was submitted.
yeah,
This
what
is what's
issues.
This is what was at that meeting.
Without changes?
Well, we made modifications because we went back and looked at and realized that we're gonna have to do additional dirt work. And we also talked about how we feel like the drainage is gonna have to be handled on both sides of the subdivision. That you can't just go in there and build houses. We could, and then whatever flooding would be, that's just gonna run down to the end of the street as it is. And since they're single-family homes, You know, once you've issued a building permit for a single home, I don't know what control you have over that. Tony, you better, if I come and I own that lot and I wanna build a house on it, and as long as I fit the criteria for an R1, I can build on there and I don't have to worry
We would
about.
still look at the drainage of it.
Right, but I mean, other than what it would be proposed, but you build 6 houses in there,
All right.
are you gonna have as much cumulative runoff as you would? Under the PUD, you're gonna have more control.
Right.
If you build single families in there, you're not gonna have the
Well,
other.
control of drainage is an MS4 is controlled by engineering.
Right,
So it doesn't matter what size it is, what type it is, it's just, we just control what's the impervious surface. So, yeah, that, irregardless what goes in there, we would have control to look at it.
right.
One of the concerns also was is very narrow back there, narrow roadway. Has there been any traffic studies in that area?
There's going to be additional car traffic on this road, but again, looking at the clientele that typically buy these types of homes, where you've got older folks like myself, I come and go occasionally. I don't go to work every morning, I don't come home every night. And so, I'm gonna have that day in and day out traffic, and I'm not gonna have kids that are gonna be driving and having multiple cars in and out on that type of situation, because again, these size homes are not really what you would call family homes for multiple kids to be involved in those size houses. It's just not something that draws folks like that. These again are gonna be more for a single person or a newlywed couple that wants to live in a home for 5-6 years, or someone that's looking to downsize and move into something that's gonna be much simpler, not have to worry about cutting grass and things like that.
Any other questions by the board?
Is there some plot restrictions on this?
Plot restrictions,
I thought there was
How about deed
deed
restrictions?
restrictions, is there some deed restrictions on this?
I don't know.
Scars.
I mean, that's for, we don't get involved in the deed restrictions of it. But you got, yeah.
there was none passed on that we're aware of. Now, Saddleback as a whole has some restrictions, but we're aware of those, and those would be taken into consideration as far as anything that we would do, as far as plantings and things of that nature.
Well, I wasn't at the meeting either, I didn't even have a
Yeah,
meeting.
that, I understand, see, after we talked about that before, about the restrictions. Yeah.
Is that still,
It's something they'd have to address in the development. Now they're just asking for the rezoning, but if it's approved, then would have to come back with the plan, the development plan. They'd have to address that issue there. But we don't per se get involved in deed restrictions, we can't do that.
okay.
Yeah, because this is a preliminary stage for us to be able to begin the rest of the program, because we can't really, we're not gonna spend the money to do the rest of this until we know that this is approved. And if it is approved, then we have to go through all of the additional steps that Tony's addressed, such as drainage and dealing with, because we won't be able to get a building permit until we have satisfied all of those.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, if no further questions, I'm gonna open the floor up for any remonstrances. Thank you.
I think you,
Okay, would like to go first? Okay, Chuck Deaton.
I'm Chuck Deaton, I live at 284 Birch Drive. I don't necessarily live in the Saddleback Unit 2, but I appreciate all the questions that were asked, and I do thank Mayor Hodges and Tony Jackson there for having the meeting you brought up. To answer Brian's question, I know the city doesn't really deal with a lot of deed restrictions, but there are covenants in that Saddleback 2 estates that it will be, all dwellings will be single-family dwellings, not multifamily. And I know they're asking for a PUD, and they're asking for rezoning and all that stuff, but that is in there, and it's been that way since about 1985. I did talk to an attorney, he said that he does believe that's still be in effect, because it does say that to change that, it would have 50% of the neighbors to do so. And the meeting we had, I believe we had 6 neighboring homes and families that were there. I know this is what they originally submitted, you addressed that. And I think there was a lot of things that were brought up. Ronnie, I know you were there, I know the mayor was there, but there was a lot of things that were brought up in that meeting. I don't believe they were addressed at all. So my question is, my public question would be, if you're out to be a neighbor, then why not be a good neighbor? Start off by addressing some of the concerns that are brought up by the people you're gonna live next to, you're gonna build next to. I think another big part of this is, I've sat at the table you're sitting at, I voted on a couple things before. I do not disagree that there are places that we should have duplexes or townhomes, and I believe there's somebody sitting in the audience that requested that a while back, one of the best builders I know in the area. And I believe, very heartfelt, that there is a thing called location. There's already 78 homes that are built back there with one way in, one way out. This year, already at one point, nobody could get in and nobody could get out due to a fire. You ask how they get into the right-hand side and Saddleback Unit 1. Everybody comes in one way and they leave one way. There's no other way in or out of there. Unless you want to build a bridge across the lake over in Lakeview, there's no other way going to be built out of there. So I think everybody's seen that. I've lived back there most of my life. I do believe that single-family dwelling homes, I think would be fine. I think anybody that can buy a house, wherever they can buy a house, is going to buy a house. I don't care if they have 5 kids or have no kids. My retired mother probably puts more mileage on the road than I do, and I drive for a living. So I'm not going to say anybody's going to slow down just because of their age, or they're not going to pick up because they got kids that are young. I hope that you all think about all that. I think there's a lot of people here that don't like the idea of multifamily homes. I don't think they're against the idea of single-family dwelling homes. But I think when you put 11 families back there, I was young once. I wanted to buy a house. I believe everybody in this room has been at that point. And whatever they would approve me to buy, I'd buy. And I would stay there as long as I could. And if I had 6 kids, they'd be raised right there with me. So that's my opinion, and I appreciate it.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I'll go.
Okay.
My name is Vicki Stallfragan. I live at 1122 Charlestown, Memphis Road. Saddleback was my father-in-law's farm. I have 4 of those lots that butt up against me in the back. And sir, you are exactly right. After rain, it looks like a lake back there. I've seen that pumping station flooded. Right now, between us, 2 of those lots, it just holds it. Henry sold that place for single dwellings. They tried to put multiple housings back there before. It ended up in court. That is not what he intended for that farm to be. That is not what he wants his legacy to be. He wants single dwellings. That's what I want. And he's saying he'd have to put up a 3,000-foot house for the money, and then you double your roof space. Put up a 2-story and make it 1,500. Then you've cut it in half. I don't want 8 different families in my backyard. I want 4 single houses. He made the statement that it's going to be older people. My aunt lives in Buttonwood, and there's older people in there. However, 3 of the residents have their grandchildren moved in with them with divorce cases, and it's kid neighborhood now. They have a clubhouse that's inundated with kids. That was not the intention of that place, but that's what happens. You cannot predict the future. You don't know that. So I want the single houses. And another thing, I don't think people realize on Charlestown, Memphis Road, we have a halfway house down there. And there are constantly gentlemen walking up and down Charlestown, Memphis Road. I've also seen them in Saddleback Road, Saddleback walking around. I'm afraid that one of them is going to be hurt. They're going to get hit. I think that needs to be taken into consideration because you're gonna double at least the traffic back there where you could cut down on it a little bit. But you do have this transient population now that's constantly walking the roads. I'm assuming they probably lost their license with DWIs and that's why they're in recovery. But I think that needs to be consideration to cut down on traffic out there too, because that is a problem. So I thank you all. I'm really kind of disappointed that we're back here again because I think enough of us spoke last time that was opposed to this. And I really kind of think it's nervy of the builders to kind of like challenge that we could change our mind. We've all thought about it. I haven't changed mine. So, and I know all these letters, that's a tax write-off right there. So, I thank you for your time and I hope you don't approve it.
Thank you.
The lady that drives everywhere.
I'm the lady that drives everywhere. I'm Jeannie Deaton at 214 Southside, and I live on the corner as you go past there. And like she said, I mean, I love the woods behind me and I love watching the deer. It's gone, that's okay. But are we going to honestly say we want elderly back there? I'm like Vicki, can we really say we're gonna have elderly? I mean, I'm elderly and I'm got this big home that I'm taking care of. So I don't think that we can limit it to elderly. Also, who's gonna do the HOA? Are they gonna put in the HOA? Or are we gonna ask the elderly people to do the HOA? We need an HOA in Saddleback anyway. I'd love to have an HOA. And you would have to say, we have to do this and this and this. But we don't have that. So it's odd to me that you're gonna say, in this little cul-de-sac of 11 houses, or 6 houses, or 10 people, we're gonna put a HOA, you're gonna drive past everything, and then you're gonna drive into this little HOA. I don't foresee that happening. I mean, myself, I don't foresee it, and I've been there 37 years. So I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Any other comments?
Good evening. My name is Sarah Anderson. I'm at 307 Saddleback Drive. I am greatly opposed to this duplex project. It is not compatible with the neighbor's interests. The surrounding area is single-family homes, and we enjoy our community that we have developed there. If duplexes do come in, what is going to prevent these single-family homes from becoming duplexes? These duplexes are going to put increased strain on the current infrastructure, and the duplex development will decrease my property value. It will not increase it, and it's going to simultaneously cause my insurance rates to increase. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, any other comments?
Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
All right. Thanks for having this meeting. My name's Greg Grimes. I live at 227 Saddleback Drive, right across from the cul-de-sac. We already have a subdivision going in at the top of the hill. Charlestown-Memphis Road is very narrow. The traffic out there, everybody that lives in Saddleback has to travel that road. I'm not officially saying, but I was told there's going to be 150 homes put in the top of that new subdivision at the top of the hill. Add that traffic to Charlestown-Memphis Road on top of these 11 duplexes of people coming in and out. And I've seen the foot traffic too. And if you're not the defensive driver, you're going to hit somebody. And also the other concern I have is the pumping station. Is it at full capacity already with the homes that we have out there? I don't know, it's just a question, but we're gonna put 11 duplexes in there. multi-family homes, at least 2 people and maybe children too, is that pumping station going to be able to handle those 11 duplexes? So I'm totally for single house dwelling. That's what Saddleback was designed for, and not multi-family. So I really appreciate it if you guys kept it single family homes, okay? All right, thank you.
All right, any other comments before we move on?
I'm Andrea Engstad. I live at 310 Bates Drive with my husband Nate, and I think he's given you guys an entire letter about stuff. But we own lot 220, so we know about the drainage issues in there, and I just mostly wanted to make a comment because every time we hear the drainage discussed, it seems that people, or at least the builders, aren't really aware that it cuts right through the lots right now. It cuts right through the middle of them, and then we actually paid our own money last year to put in a retaining wall on the back end of our lot just to help with that drainage, because the last builders did not complete the ditch, really. So we've already invested some of our own money into the drainage, and so that's just something that's a big concern of ours going forward, as to how, when they come in and redevelop it, we're gonna have our lot flooded again. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you.
It's, if you're here for the BZA meeting, it's immediately after this one.
All right, so before we move on, any other comments? Come on.
Hello, my name is Michelle Henderson, and I live at 225 Saddleback. Along with my husband, Travis Henderson, we own lot 224, that's on that there as well. We asked the commissioners to not approve the duplexes. We are all for the single family. We, again, can't stress the drainage issue, major issue for all of us. We're in support of single family homes. We have grandchildren, and we're all for single family homes. We ask that you all not approve the duplexes. Thank you.
Thank you.
I also wanted to, I'm sorry, the subdivision that's being built right down the road from us, Christianity's building that. That subdivision is all single-family homes as well. So the builder and the realtor mentioned the need in the area for duplexes, but none of the other builders that are building around us are putting in duplexes. So I don't see the need.
All right, thank you. All right, anyone else? Okay, anything else by the board, discussions? So we'll bring this up for a vote. If I could get a motion to put this on the table to vote. This is just a motion to move forward to vote on it.
So moved.
Okay, motion made by Brian. Second by Harold. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, ayes have it. Okay, so for the zoning map change request on Valley Drive, can I get a motion, anybody make a motion to approve? Okay, no motion? Okay,
Can you clarify what the motion was that was just voted on?
The one before this one?
Yes.
It was just a motion to hear it. There's a motion to hear it.
okay, so for the zoning map change, all in favor say aye.
Wait a minute. Took one for, but you need to have one for, need a motion to deny or to send it up, no. This goes to the council.
Motion to deny.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so we need a motion to,
Need a second. You just made a
this
motion.
second.
He made a motion to deny.
You made a motion to deny this?
Yes.
Okay,
I'll second.
okay, Brian Hester second. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Okay, so it does not pass.
It'll go, what it is, this still goes to the council, but it'll get recommended to the council with a denied. So,
Okay, anything else?
Still goes to the council.
huh?
Still goes to the council.
Yes, it still goes to council.
Still goes to the council, and then the council will vote, it'll get to the, when it gets to the council, it won't be recommended.
It's not a public hearing, it just goes
Yeah.
to the council.
Okay.
Okay, anything else?
Make the motion to adjourn.
A motion to adjourn, made by, Mr. Hester,
I'll second it.
second by Wayne. All in favor, say aye. Aye. We are adjourned, thank you.
In case you want to hear about chickens.